Now to the US, where employers are finding creative ways to attract new workers and keep current ones from quitting. That's because people who lost work during the pandemic are refusing to return to low-paying jobs, resulting in a record number of vacancies in the world's largest economy. While it threatens to derail the economic recovery, employees are finally getting gains they've sought for years. Paolo Montecillo has more.
A little bit more cheese, then
Dirt Candy is considered one of the best restaurants in New York City. And it survived the lack of customers at the start of the pandemic thanks to government handouts.
Dirt Candy at the moment isn't a viable business, and I am really thankful for the federal aid that we've gotten.
These days, the biggest challenge is getting staff. So it's had to raise wages, pay for health insurance, and give employees more paid time off.
I want my employees to know that I believe in them as much as they believe in me. And the only way I can do that is to treat them like professionals.
She's just one of many business owners offering better packages amid America's worst labor shortage. Data released earlier this week show U.S. job openings jumped to 10 million in June, mostly in hospitality and retail. Businesses blame generous unemployment benefits that pay people more than what they would normally earn. In response, retailers like Walmart and CVS are raising wages for thousands of employees. Fast food chain McDonald's has also done that and gone further with an emergency childcare program for working parents. Target's new perk is debt-free college tuition for part-time and full-time workers. It's even paying for textbooks. Policymakers have welcomed these moves.
People that work in restaurants, people that work in hotels. These are frontline jobs right now, and in order to attract the workforce that these companies need, they're offering higher wages. That's good for greater economical equality.
The national minimum wage has remained at $7.25 an hour since 2009. Activists have been calling for an increase for years. Now, thanks to the worst pandemic in a century, the average restaurant or hotel worker earns more than twice as much. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
For more, let's go to Mickey Levy. He's the Chief US and Asia economist at Berenberg Capital Markets. Good to have you back with us, Mickey. The latest Labor Department figures really do show that the US is now facing quite an interesting situation. Basically, how to fill nearly 10 million job openings with about 1 million fewer workers than there are actual positions. How did it get to this point?
Well, let me start by putting a very positive spin on this, and that is the U.S. economy, not just GDP, but employment, they've rebounded much faster than anybody had earlier assumed, and so the recovery is proceeding, and actual gains in employment have averaged 680,000 per month the last 6 months. So. Basically, what you have is very, very strong demand for labor in every sector as businesses have to increase production, not just to meet demand, but also to replenish inventories. And at the same time, the demand is outpacing the supply of labor. And, it's a very interesting question about why the supply of labor is not higher. Part of it is due to just the big dislocations stemming from the pandemic. Part of it is some people just don't want to go back to work for health concerns. But then, as has been widely noted, the government's enhanced unemployment compensation benefits are basically providing financial subsidies for people to delay going back to work. And so you have the supply-demand imbalance, and businesses are having to raise wages, provide bonuses, and I expect the supply constraints to last for a while.
How long is a while exactly? We know that in terms of the enhanced unemployment benefits, they're due to expire in September, so perhaps that disincentive will fade away when those benefits end. But in terms of the supply-demand constraints, when will they begin to ease?
Well, firstly, I would be surprised if the Biden administration allowed the enhanced unemployment compensation to expire in September as scheduled without replacing it with something else. But even if it allows it to expire, demand for labor is very, very strong. There are ongoing benefits and checks being written by the federal government through to pay for various refundable tax credits and the like. Also, keep in mind, Congress is on the verge of passing the infrastructure package, which they call the American Jobs Act, and that's going to create a huge demand for very high-paying unionized construction jobs, and that's going to draw more people away from the lower-paying services industry. So the supply constraints are liable to last for a while. Now, one of the most interesting points here, as business production costs are going up, and we saw that in today's producer price index, businesses facing the higher production costs are also seeing very strong product demand. And so they have the flexibility to raise prices. So it's generating consumer inflation, and that's a real sticky issue, which I expect is going to last for a while and create real challenges for the Federal Reserve.
Yes, and that inflation story is a whole nother discussion, isn't it? Mickey Levy, we'll have to leave it there, but a pleasure as always to get your analysis. Thank you.